Welcome once again to my YouTube channel, Maths with Ease by Mr. Kamotho. And in this video, I want us to explain example 1 of Algebra 8, whereby we shall be talking about functions. And in the introduction part, you have understood that functions are one-to-one function. Functions are of three types. There is one-to-one functions. There is many-to-one functions. These are functions, while one-to-many is not a function. It is not a function. I will explain what this means in this video. And we are told to state, giving a reason, whether each mapping shows a function or not. And the first mapping, A, is a function whereby any input or any raw material that is coming in fact, I would want to introduce this one as a raw material and product explanation, whereby they go through the process and then the raw materials come out as products. Those are just my words. They are not mathematical words, but for better understanding, this is a domain and this is a range. The inputs are called domains and the outputs are called the range. So for easy understanding, I may use raw material and product, or even easier and better still, the input and the output. So every input that goes through this process, it is added 1, and that is why we have 1 plus 1 giving us a 2. 2 plus 1 giving us an output of a 3. 3 plus 1 giving out an output of 4. So this one basically is one-to-one function. This one is a one-to-one function. This one is a function, one-to-one function, whereby one input maps to one output. One raw material produces one product. One domain maps to one range. That is a function. Let us talk about part B. Part B, you can see that it is a function whereby every input is squared. Every input is squared. That means when -2 is the input, -2 squared is 4. Whereas the same as +2 squared gives us a 4. -1 squared gives us a 1. And 1 squared gives us a 1. So we are facing a situation whereby we have several raw materials or several inputs, in fact 2 domains mapping onto one range. It means therefore when we have an input of -2 and +2, both of which undergo squaring, they both produce a +4, because you realize that -2 squared is a 4 and +2 squared is a 4. This is where we have many inputs mapping into one output, and this therefore it is actually many-to-one, which is a function. So this one is a function, many. This one is many-to-one. Many-to-one function. It is a function. The first one was one-to-one function. It was a function. Let us go to part C. Part C is where we are having one input mapping into different output. For example, we have an input of 4 and the function is the square root of the input. The square root of a 4 is -4. Also positive, -2 as well as +2. So is this a function? No, it is not a function, because supposing 4 was a negative number, or rather we were having -4 here, we do not have square root of negative numbers, and therefore it is not a function for that very reason. You will also look at it like 1 is mapping to many, and 1 to many, even from the introduction of the topic, is not a function, where one raw material forms different product. And I want to give you a real life example. If we take 4 as a raw material, and let's say wheat flour is the raw material, on one end it can form bread, but wheat flour cannot give you a soda, whereby -2 can be bread. Yes, that is true, but +2 cannot be bread. It could be a soda. There is no way the same raw material can give you bread and at the same time it is going to give you a soda. That is not a function. So this one is not a function. Why? Because it is 1 to many. It is, of course, one raw material mapping to many product. It is not a function. Finally, the last one, we are having again 1 to many. For example, we are talking about x is any number greater than x, so any number greater than what is provided. So when we provide 1 as a raw material, then the product can be 2 or 3 because both of which are greater than the raw material. It is not a function because again there is 1 to many. You can see the arrows that are originating from 1 of it is pointing to 2 and another one is pointing to 3. So 1 to many is not a function. So this one is again not a function. That is not a function, and therefore we have just answered our question and we have given our reasons. If I may have used words that are not acceptable in the mathematical world, please understand that they were just for better and deeper understanding. The real words or the proper names for the input is the domain, and the proper name for the output is actually the range. Let us meet each other in the next video. Thank you.